I got a new toy. This thing has been on my wish list since last Christmas, and my sisters finally came through and got it for my birthday. So why don't we have a play and see if I can make something on it? So I do have a little idea of something that I could do on this, because you can only make small-ish panels. I thought I would have to use 2 to do sweaters. That's what a lot of people do. But I think because I am using a yarn that is slightly lighter weight maybe than what would be correct weight, I don't know, for this Sentro Knitting Machine. So because it's lighter, I feel like you can kind of stretch it a bit more sideways, and I'm thinking of doing a loose knit light sweater. I have this yarn that I just got from Spotlight. It is the Moda Vera Valley. It's just an acrylic, it's 8 ply. I actually bought a bunch of colors. I accidentally did a little Spotlight shopping spree, even though I was on a self-inflicted yarn shopping ban. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, this is the color Cedar, and I also got, I think the other one is Jasper. To be honest, these 2 colors, they're so similar, I almost couldn't tell the difference myself. Another color I got in the same yarn, I got like 8 balls of this. This one is called Barossa, my favorite wine region. I actually got enough of this to do a knitted sweater, which means I've gotten back into knitting. I mean, both of these things are knitting, what am I talking about? But the other one's like with the machine, so it's different. I guess this is a knitting video. Okay. This is me getting back into knitting. So I'm going to take you through the process of me trying to make a sweater on my Sentro Knitting Machine, and then I'll also just show you a sneaky little update of how this sweater is coming along, because I'm using a free pattern and it's looking gorgeous so far. I'm trying to be really careful of the tension guide, because I've heard that's one of the first things to break on these things. That and the row counter, which mine's still alright. It was just stuck between a 4 and a 5. It's alright, it's still going. Also, I've heard a lot of people talking about how their Sentro like wobbles on the desk. I've got a glass tabletop, and I think that is probably the best thing for these suction cups. It's not going anywhere, not budging. Okay, I've just taken this off because I'm realizing I should have done the method that people are calling the waste yarn cast on, because this top part is where I cast on, and you can see it's just like loose but not in a controlled way. I am thinking of doing like the ends of my cuffs and maybe like the hem and the neckline having this curl. I don't really know how to describe this, but the thing is I can't replicate that on the other side. Have a look how beautiful this yarn is knitting up though. Look at these colors. Isn't that nice? Yeah, these yarns are really beautiful and they feel really nice. Okay, I didn't film a lot of actually cranking the Sentro because I have panels, I have sleeves, and I have a front and back panel. So these ones I did with the tube setting, and I have used after some experimenting, I went with waste yarn, so this yellow bit at the top will come off. But I have been playing around with how to bind off. I haven't really seen a tutorial that shows doing it in like a normal knitted way, which I've tried, but it gives like very little stretch the way that I knew how to bind off. It might be totally wrong. I also tried with a crochet hook putting one stitch through the next, and that's what this one is, and you can see it's just like there's no stretch at all. So I think what I'm going to go with is this method that I just kind of made up, but it's probably been done before. Use a crochet hook, go in, crochet one in each stitch, and then chain one in between, so it's got a little bit of give, and that made it like this, and then it'll kind of just have like a little bit of bigger holes on the end, but then this is going to get sewn to the top and then the other end will be the sleeve. So I could finish that a different way. I could add more crochet to it if I want. The other thing is, I'm not sure if I would regret doing it if I did this, but I'm thinking about dropping some stitches so it's a bit more like grungy, but I'm scared because if I hate it, it'll be a pain in the ass to go back and fix it. I'm gonna think about it. These look really long and skinny at the moment, but I'm hoping, like, that's fine, right? They just stretch out a bit. It'll just look long when I'm not wearing it. And then when I put it on, it'll be like, right? So I've got my back and front panels and my sleeves. I did 100 rows for the front and back panels, and I did 110 for the sleeves because I'm going for a kind of cropped but like extra long sleeves. I think they're gonna drape nice and low over my hands. This part is Jasper and this part is Cedar. Can you tell the difference? They go together really well, that's for sure. So the sleeves I know are gonna be fine, like width wise. The only thing I'm worried about is the front and the back. To what I was saying before about do I do a drop stitch? Because the thing about doing a drop stitch, I think it would also give it a bit more horizontal stretch. But if I have it like that grungy look, it'll be really easy to catch on things and like with cats and stuff. But then again, if it's gonna catch anyway and it already looks like that worn grungy look, then it won't hurt if a cat does tug on it. The thing is I have to decide now because I have to do it before I close off all the ends, you know what I mean? So let's just envision it for a second. I think I actually, maybe for this one, I should just leave it as it is, and I could do another one where I do drop stitches as well. Because I really like the stripes, like the variegation stripes through it. It's made like a really pretty fabric. Okay, for this one, I'm just gonna leave it as is. Let's keep it really simple. So I'm gonna go around and do all my edges. And I'll come back and talk to you when I've done that. I've done this one. I just need to pull off this yarn now. I'm gonna show you how hard it actually is to get this thing off this desk. I have to pull them up one at a time, and sometimes another one will stick down after I've just lifted one up. I'm making bread. Let's go check if it's risen enough. It is nighttime and I still have sunnies on my head. I'm making pumpkin soup from a pumpkin I grew out of the compost. It's so risen, it's stuck, and I'm gonna have to like pull it off the... Oh, never mind. Oh, what do I do with this? I'm just gonna put it in the sink.
My oven's coming up to temperature. I'm putting it into a really nice ball shape.
Okay, I've got to shape it and then I've got to leave it for half an hour. I just need a flat surface. Ta-da! That doesn't seem big enough. It'll be fine. I've made this bread before, but somehow I've put in... Okay, I had written down 550 grams because I had written down the instructions, but then I didn't want to get my scales out. So I Googled what 550 grams of bread flour was in cups. And it told me 4 1/3. But the recipe, she says 550 or 3 1/2. And also I put in 2 teaspoons of yeast when I was only meant to put in half a teaspoon. So we'll see how this turns out. I think I was meant to put flour down. I was definitely meant to put flour down. Oh God, this is just not my night. Oh. Dang! Oh, that's not good. I'm just having one of those days. I left the milk out this morning. I left my toast in the sandwich maker for too long. Okay, I cook my raisin toast on the sandwich press because that's how I used to make it when I worked in the cafe, and it's delicious that way. But I left it on there and forgot about it. That'll, I think, have to do. Now I've got to let it sit for another half hour. It's not meant to be this hard. It's actually pretty easy to do this. Completely forgot to put it in. I just flicked water onto the lens. Can you see that?
With the lid of the Dutch
Okay.
oven.
I have some time to go back and keep working on the sweater. And then when I stick this in the oven, I'm gonna make my soup. She looks like a butt. We'll see how it comes out. Just to add to the things I've done today by accident, I just was pulling apart what I thought was my knitted bind off that was too tight. But no, I was actually unthreading the last row of the actual project, not the waste yarn. I had to go with a needle and fix it. That just took way longer than it needed to. Turns out I just need to pull it like this once I had loosened the first one. Oh, that's actually really satisfying. Okay, now I'm gonna crochet this end. Oh no. That's one sleeve done. My bread's ready to put in the oven and I should probably make my soup. But first I'm gonna undo one of these. I'm gonna undo both of these ends. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be satisfying as hell. My camera battery literally just died before I finished pulling out this, but I saved it for you guys. Oh yeah. All right, yes. That end is cute, right? It's kind of like lacy. I'm really happy with how that edge looks. I want to do this end too, but this end is a bit trickier to figure out. I had to watch a video before, but I think you just pull the yarn from the other side first, maybe? Let's try it. I've already crocheted this edge. Just double checking. Is this how you do it? This doesn't seem right. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I think I've got it. You've got to pull the first string all the way through like it's a drawstring. Okay, yes. And then I thought this part was going to be super satisfying. It is once it comes out, but it's actually not easy. There we go. Sleeve. Oh, it's gonna be cute. It's gonna be so cute. Yes. I was gonna do all of these, but I think I'm gonna go make my dinner and look at this bread. I told you it would be okay. Look at her. She's so pretty. Oh yeah. That's gonna go so good with my soup. Let's have a look at the soup. She's bubbling away. Just like to remind you that I grew this pumpkin. Look at that crust. Let me knock on it. Actually, that's super crusty. That's the crustiest bread I've ever made. I want to break off a little bit and eat it. This little bit. That was very crunchy. That is gonna be perfect soup bread. There we go. I've got my nice soup and my bread while Kurtis is at the footy. There he is. Hi cuties, it's 2 days later because I actually had to work yesterday, but today I am determined to get this sweater, which I don't actually know where it is right now. This sweater finished once and for all. It's going to be one of the first projects in a really long time that I have started and finished in a couple of days. All right, I'm going to get these finished and then we're going to sew it up or crochet it up and then I'll try it on. Not me just exposing the absolute mess that my office is at the moment. Oh, side note, I'm going to show you guys one other project, the cable knit sweater that I started on. I don't normally stop knitting halfway through a row, but can I just explain to you, I was trying to be really deliberate about like, I'm going to go sit out in the backyard with my dog and knit while the sun's still up. Right when I was knitting the last row, my dog comes up, ran into the bag, which has the yarn. I'm knitting with 2 strands at once. So she came around, somehow caught both strings, yanked the whole project out of my hands. I just saw it flying. And then I had to get up and chase her while she's dragging my project through the backyard. I was worried it was gonna come off the needles. Then she thought it was a game when I tried to get it off her. I got the project, but then she grabbed the yarn and I was like, please don't undo all my knitting. But anyway, thankfully I was able to scoop it all up, but now I just have this knot to deal with. I will link the pattern for this below because this is a stunning pattern, but it's a men's pattern and it is free. I wanted something that was going to be like chunky, bit retro vibes. You know those really thick 80s sweaters, but like men's sweater on women vibe, but also just this yarn is a really beautiful color or colors. It's the same yarn. I'm knitting the sweater that we're doing today, this one in the color Barossa. Yeah, it's a, do you call them Aran or fisherman's sweaters? You know, it's got this cable and it's got this cable on the side and it's got this stitch called raindrop stitch. I'm not really a knitter. I'm just getting back into it. But of course I decided to take on something that was like kind of hard for someone that hasn't read off like knitting charts before, but it's going all right. I've made some mistakes, but mostly you can't notice them because they're all in the raindrop part, and because of like the variegation in the yarn, I feel like you can't really tell. And this is going to be the back anyway, and you do the ribbing later. I'm hoping to have this finished before we go on our snow trip in August. The other day when I was working on stuff and I kept making like really stupid mistakes, I forgot to even mention that Kurtis had to come and jumpstart my car while I was at the shop. This is one of my front panels. I've still got to pull out this yarn. So let's do that. There we go. Nice. Oh, it's going to be so cute. I have to go pick Kurtis up, but when I come back, I'm going to finish this. I have officially finished all the edges and taking off the waste yarn. So now I have my 4 pieces and I'm thinking about a few different ways that I could add a little bit more crochet to the piece and maybe like where the sleeves join on and the side seam, so it's like a bit more lacy, or so there's more holes, like adding another row of crochet with a chain in between. I made this crochet cardigan. It was my first granny hexagon cardigan. Sometimes feel like the sleeves are a bit short, but then other times I'm glad they're not longer so they don't get in the way. You can kind of see this would be the length of the sleeve on its own. So if you have a look at that, these sleeves are going to be way longer. In fact, almost too long, but I think I can roll them up and they'll be fine. So I've got sleeve, back or front, sleeve, back or front. I've got to decide how far in I want to attach them as well. So I guess that's the first part, is to do the neck. I'm going to pin the top corners. Alrighty. Ow. Oh, chaos.
It wasn't made.
Oh, Fluffy. Now take your dang cat.
Yeah.
Oh, she's hiding.
That little hot belly son of a...
Yeah, you go. Fluffy. All right, it's actually looking really cute. See how it stretches like decently? Now I think I want not too tight of a neckline, like a boat neck, but what is the right amount to come in? I'm just gonna do it roughly for now and I'll count it properly when I've taken it off, but I'm gonna check I can still like get it over my head and that it looks okay. I was gonna say all right and okay, that it looks okay. Maybe something like that. It is looking like it's gonna be a little bit tight, so I think I will go ahead and add maybe 2 rows of crochet around the side. So I'm gonna attach this top part. I think this is a good width for my neckline here. And then I'm gonna go around the whole side with some crochet. So it's gonna take a little bit longer than I thought it would, but that's okay. Okay, I think I've figured out the method I'm going to use to attach everything. And it has the effect that I wanted, which was to add a little bit of that like crocheted laciness. I've done the shoulders. I'm gonna do a row of double crochet with a chain in between. And then I should be able to just go up one side of the sleeve, up one side of the side, oh my God. Okay, what I was trying to explain here is that the way I'm going to be joining all my seams is by first crocheting along one edge with a double crochet and then a chain one in between, skip the next row of knitting and double crochet into the side of the next row. I'll do this all the way up the side until I reach my marker for my armhole. Then, because I've already done this on the edge of my arm pieces, I can start joining that on by slipping into those chain one spaces and the tops of the double crochets that are on the arm piece as I continue to add double crochets to the front and back pieces. Once I've gone all the way around the armhole, I can start back down the other side of my side seam, and if my maths has worked out correctly, everything should match up at the bottom. I did a sleeve. I think this is good too because it's going to help me determine how stretched to put the end of the sleeve, to not have it to not attach it so that it's really small at the opening, but I'm hoping it's not too much as well. I've just got to do the other side and then we're done. I'm not going to go around the neck. I'm not going to go around the bottom. I'm going to leave it as it is. So close. Birthday treats. I reckon I can have this finished in half an hour. I'm hoping for less. Let's start a stopwatch. That is where I attach the arm. This is working out well. We're on the right track now. We're so close. I've been tying on all my ends with the magic knot as well, just to, oh crap. Now I've got to find the end of my yarn, just so I don't have to weave in so many ends. Oh no, I don't know where the end of this yarn is. Yes, okay. I'm getting really hungry too, so I just want this to be done at this point, but it's also so close. I know if I stop now, I'll never pick it up again and just never finish it. Magic knot. I think this is called a magic knot, but you can cut the tails really close and it doesn't come unraveled, and that's what's magic about it. Okay, timer is started. Let's crochet. When I get to this end of a project and it feels like it's starting to drag on, I start getting really stressed, like I just don't want to be doing it anymore. But at the same time, it's so close to being finished. It would be silly to stop now. I think it's more because like I haven't eaten, and when I'm really focusing on a project, I forget to go and eat or like drink water, all that basic stuff. And then it puts me in a bad mood. But as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna go and cook us some Korean cheese noodles, I think they are. Pretty keen for that. I'm going extra fast to try and do this, so I hope I don't make any mistakes, but I don't think you'll notice. There's a couple of little mistakes in this sweater that I've noticed so far. Like the ends didn't quite match up, but I think because there might have been one row extra or something, but I think because it's like curling at the bottom anyway, no one's gonna notice. And sometimes I need to remember that finished is better than perfect, because I will undo a whole project when I'm almost finished it just because I've noticed a little mistake that only I will notice. But it just bothers me sometimes, but with this one, I'm not gonna let it bother me. Oh, I just realized my marker is on the other side. I've gone too far, damn it. Okay, that's where I add my sleeve, I believe. Okay, this is the official halfway point because I've just gone past the shoulder. I can hear Kurtis out there watching dash cams, and I'm getting FOMO, and I'm making mistakes. No, all good. I want to be done with this. I want to be done with this. I'm doing the last stitch, but for some reason, one of the sides has ended up longer on one side than the other side, and I'm not really sure why, but I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm gonna call it done, and I'm gonna try it on. And it actually took 45 minutes. It's the next day. So I didn't end up coming back and trying this on last night because once I left the room to go make dinner, I did what I knew would probably happen, and I wanted to put on comfy pants and just veg out and watch a movie and eat my food and worry about this tomorrow. But tomorrow is today. I did actually go back and redo the side that wasn't quite matching up, and it still didn't quite match up. So I don't know exactly what I've done wrong, but I found another mistake in it that I just thought I'll just fix it now because I felt a little bit more relaxed this morning. You know, I was just getting like over it last night, so I wanted it to be done. And I did try it on. The problem areas are just where the crochet is bunching or puckering in weird ways. I think I just need to steam it a bit into the shape that I want it. So basically just blocking it, but with my steamer. And then I do have to weave in the ends, but not too many because I kept using the magic knot. I might go and put it on the bed, and it shouldn't be too hard to block it and get it looking pretty dang cute. And then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Can you guys see the difference between that? Whereas now I've just steamed this side on a pillow so that I had like something for it to sit on, and it's lying a lot more flat. You can see on this sleeve how it wants to curl. That's what blocking's good for anyway. So I'm just going to maybe stick a pillow in here as well. Hello. I think she can hear the lens shifting. I'm not going to try and block the bottom or the collar flat though, because I want them curled. So we will leave those. That's the side I've done, and that's the side I only just started on. I don't think I've done it yet. Time to weave in my ends.
Scaredy cat, everybody is a scaredy cat. Alright, about to mop, babe.
Can I show you my sweater? Oh yes. What do you think?
Oh, it looks cute.
Is it cute?
It's the exact same as your pants. It gets white at the end.
Like flared
It's like one of
sleeves.
those gummy people.
Like Gumby.
It looks cute. No, it looks really cute. It's very 70s.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I knitted it by hand. Just kidding, I did it on my machine. He likes it. It's reveal time. I can't believe I have a finished project to show you guys that took me less than a week. It took about 2 days of work, but not whole days, you know what I mean? I think the longest part was actually crocheting it together in the end. So what do you think? I'm actually really happy with it. This is something I'm gonna wear all the time. It's like a light sweater, which is perfect. I'm actually thrilled with this. I'm gonna wear this all the time, and I'm already thinking about what other colors I could do this in, and also just like using different yarns. Like what if I did this with a cotton and maybe did more of the crochet like a summer sweater? This is something I'm going to be wearing all the time. I love the colors. It goes with my hair, of course. I love that the sleeves are like loose and they've turned into like bell, what do you call them? I almost said bell end. That's not right. Like bell sleeves, right? They're flared on their own. Well, I mean, I was kind of blocking them that way as well, but Kurtis mentioned that they were like my jeans, which I got these new jeans. I got these new jeans and they're flared. So he was saying that this sweater really matched them, which was kind of what I was going for. So pretty happy with that. There's a few ways I feel like I can wear it. Like I could wear it tucked in, I could wear it like this, wear it over like just a little bralette or something. I'm trying to work out if it's a bit sheer. I don't think it is, but if you did it in a lighter yarn, it probably would be. So like I said, if I did it with like a cotton, I think would definitely be a little bit see-through if I did it with that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm really happy with this sweater and Kurtis likes it too. So that's a tick of approval for me. And let's talk about something real quick for a second about this Sentro machine. When my sisters gave it to me, my cousin was there and she said, isn't that like cheating? And then I told my mum and she said the same thing, like as if this is cheating for someone that can actually knit. And I was like, what are you talking about? I feel like I should be able to use this as a tool to go with having the skill of knitting, because let's face it, like all you can really do on the knitting machine is stocking out panels. And I feel like I want to find ways of using it to my advantage. So maybe creating a stockinette panel and then going back in and flipping some of the stitches to make some cabling, or just to like, I don't know, let it do the hard work or the boring work of the stockinette and then go in and add stuff later without having the tediousness of knitting the whole garment myself, because sometimes if you're knitting the same stitch over and over, it can get quite boring. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. If you think using one of these machines is cheating, I don't think so. It still took me kind of a long time to finish this, if you think about the fact that the actual knitting part was very quick. I still had to do crochet and things to finish it, and I still had to know like the basic assembly of a garment. So I don't think it's cheating, and I'm still gonna say this is handmade. But yeah, let me know what you think of the sweater, and I will try and leave as much information about how I've put it together. But if you want more of a tutorial, just let me know. I'm more than happy to do something like that. And I'm excited to make another sweater anyway, so maybe I should do a tutorial. Oh yeah, the last thing I was gonna mention is that this took about, I'd say more than 1.5 balls of that yarn, and they're 100 grams. So I think this is about 170 grams of that particular yarn, 375 meters per ball. So I'm gonna say it used about 600 to 700 meters of yarn, maybe 700. You'd wanna have 2 of these anyway, so maybe get yourself 200 grams of yarn if you wanna do something similar. And of course, like this is the length that I have mine. You might want it more cropped or the sleeves shorter. Mine are definitely extra long, but I like them like this. So yeah, if you wanna know anything else about it, feel free to leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go and maybe finish a project I've already started, maybe start something brand new and ignore all those other ones. But either way, if it's interesting, I'll be sure to make a video about it, and I will see you guys in that one. Bye!